Let's talk about one of the most universal human feelings out there, that feeling of being stuck. You know the one. It can make you question absolutely everything. But what if that feeling wasn't actually a dead end? What if it was a signpost, a landmark on a hidden map of your life's journey? Well, today, we're going to take a look at that map. So let me just ask you, straight up, do you feel lost right now? Maybe it feels like you've just run smack into a wall and you have no idea where to turn next. It's a really quiet, personal kind of struggle, but believe me, you're so far from alone in this. In fact, that stuck feeling usually brings a whole cocktail of other emotions with it. You've got that dissatisfaction, that burnout, a real discomfort with just being in the present. And then there's that nagging doubt about the future. It's this deep sense that the purpose you thought you had has just evaporated. If any of that is hitting home, just take a breath. It's a completely normal part of the process. But here's the big idea, the shift in perspective we're going to explore. What if feeling stuck isn't a bug, but a feature? Seriously, what if it's a specific, totally predictable stage on a map of your life that you just haven't been shown yet? This map comes from the writer Mark Manson, who lays out 4 really distinct stages of life. And honestly, just understanding where you are on this map can bring the kind of clarity and direction you might have been desperate for. So here they are, the copycat, the explorer, the martyr, and the mortal. And here's the thing, most of us get tangled up in the first 2 stages without even realizing it. So let's dive in and see where you might be standing right now. We all start here at stage 1. The real question is, have you ever truly left? Okay, the copycat stage. This is where we all learn the rules of the game. I mean, think about it. As kids, we're basically little mimicking machines. We copy how to walk, talk, how to act, how to fit in. The whole point is to become a functioning adult by just adopting the values and goals of the people around us. And here's the psychological hook, the thing that keeps us stuck. It's when we prioritize what other people think above everything else. Like the quote says, we find ourselves endlessly attempting to please all so that we might be judged by none. It's a life lived completely for an audience. And this story just illustrates it perfectly. Mark Manson tells this gut-wrenching story about his friend who literally woke up on his 38th birthday, on a vacation he didn't want to be on, next to a person he didn't really love, in a job he didn't believe in. He had checked every single box. He'd done everything right according to everyone else, but he'd never actually chosen any of it for himself. That painful, shocking realization, that's the end of stage 1. And that kind of pain, wow, that's usually what catapults us, ready or not, into the second stage, the explorer. This is the rebellion. This is the search for something real. And the shift in mindset is huge. If stage 1 was all about learning to fit in by copying others, stage 2 is about figuring out what makes you different by experimenting for yourself. You stop asking, what am I supposed to do? And you start asking, hey, what happens if I do this? This is that classic finding yourself phase. And let's be real, it can be messy. You might travel, you might quit your job, try a bunch of new relationships, new everything. Some of these experiments are going to work out, and some are going to fail, like spectacularly. But the goal isn't really success, it's data. You're just trying to figure out your own values, what actually matters to you, and what you're willing to build your life around. But there's a trap here, and it's a big one. A lot of people get stuck right here, in what you might call Peter Pan syndrome. They get addicted to the rush of the new, the constant discovery, and they just refuse to accept their own limitations. They end up constantly searching for themselves, but never actually committing to building a self that's worth finding. So, how do you move on? How do you get unstuck from being a copycat or a lifelong explorer? Well, the thing that pushes us forward is rarely a gentle nudge. And this is maybe the most important point of all. That feeling of being stuck, that intense discomfort, that pain you're feeling, that is not a sign you're failing. It is the catalyst. It's the universe screaming at you that the life you're living just isn't working anymore. It is the very engine of your own growth. When you finally stop fighting that pain and start listening to it, you begin to see a path forward, a path toward a life of real, genuine purpose. So let's just get a little glimpse of where that road actually leads. So beyond the explorer, you find stage 3, the martyr. Now, that word sounds heavy, but it's not about suffering. It's about commitment. It means after exploring all the options, you finally find something, a cause, a craft, a family that's so important to you, you're willing to dedicate your life to it.
You stop searching and you start building. And then finally, and the last stage, you become the mortal. This is where you accept your own limits and your legacy, and your focus shifts from building your own monument to helping other people build theirs. You go from being the hero to being the mentor.
Okay, so we've looked at the whole map, from the very beginning to the very end. But what really matters is your next step, right here, right now. How do you actually move forward from wherever you are? Well, the solution for getting unstuck is a little bit backwards. To get out of the copycat stage, you have to accept the hard truth that you just can't please everyone, so you might as well decide to please yourself. And to get past the explorer stage, you have to accept that you can't do everything, so you have to choose what truly matters and commit to it. And all this leads us to a pretty simple action plan. First, get real about the fears that are holding you in place. Second, break your huge goals down into tiny, achievable steps so you can actually build some momentum. Third, be proactive. Stop being a passenger in your own life and get back in the driver's seat. And finally, and this is the most important one, just take any action, any small step. Progress always, always starts with the next small, imperfect step forward.
So, you see? Feeling stuck? It's not a life sentence. It's just a location on a map. It's a sign that you are ready for the next part of your journey. The only question left is, now that you have the map, what's your next move?